So, I am single, and 2 weeks ago I found a brand new way to get rejected. Which is, I'm actually kind of proud of this because it's actually really funny. When I'm talking to women, I always joke and I do this thing, it's like, so, are you married? And if they actually say no, because every woman I'm attracted to is fucking married. That's why I'm 47 and single. But if they happen to say no, I just take this one step and go, do you want to be? So I said it to this woman at Horror Hound, and I was talking to her and her sister, and I'm like, so are you married? Because I noticed there was no ring on this finger. First thing I've been checking ever since I turned 25. I was at a Ren Fair and I was hitting on a married woman. I'm like, yeah, fuck me. So I go, so, are you married? And she goes, I'm widowed. Recently. Oh, shit. Now, I felt bad. The first thing I felt bad about, not that the guy died, is what I thought. Because my first thought was, did you kill him? Now, that wasn't the first thing I said to her. I did say it after about 20 minutes. You gotta feel people out before you say something that fucked up. You gotta see how dark their sense of humor is. I'm talking to her and I'm like, yeah, she can handle this joke. Clearly, and I was told her, the woman she was with was her sister, and her sister told me, and he passed away from cancer in June. So I felt like such an asshole. It's like, how would I have known? But one thing, who here has ever had a bad date and bad first kiss? Why are you? One thing you never want to hear after the first time you kiss someone, you can be nothing serious. And I'm just like, well, fuck me, I'm gonna go play in traffic now. She looked me dead in the eye and said that, and I was like, this is why I'm single. But speaking of absolute, who here is having a good 2024? Really? Good. Fuck you. 2024 has been such shit, I'm not gonna give you the number of cash I've spent on repairing my goddamn truck, but I've been to my mechanic so many times. I went in for an oil change. My mechanic looks at me and says, I quit. I go, no, I'm just here for an oil change. I'm telling. He goes, oh, he quit 2 weeks ago. Now, speaking of car wrecks, bad kisses, and bad dates, I can tell you about 2 horrible dates I went on. And I'm not proud of this. So I was dating someone for 5 minutes in the beginning of this year. This year actually started off good. I met a woman cosplayer who's a bodybuilder from the UK. She happened to be in Seattle. There was something about her because she got me on a fucking plane and I don't fly. You know, there's 2 ways to find me in a public setting. In a movie theater, during a horror movie, look for the asshole laughing during the kill. The more gory the kill, the harder I'm laughing. That's me. On a plane, second plane does this. You know, and then I look at the chick, I'm like, this is normal, right? We're not gonna die. Anyone here ever had a stewardess give you the finger? I have. So, this relationship, she just got out of a horrible abusive relationship. Stupid me, I know how to pick them. And I decided 2 weeks after this breakup, I'm like, I'm gonna try a new adventure. I'm gonna go on Facebook dating. You already know where this is going. Within 24 hours, I've got a date. I'm like, all right. She's 43, so I'm like, okay, it's closer to my age. Such a bad idea. So she invites me to her house, and I'm like, wow, you're brave. But I'm like, I'm not a serial killer, I'm not gonna rob you, and I don't have any other ill intentions. So I go to her house. She answers in a white bathrobe. Hair's wet, doesn't look like her pictures. No, I'm not that vain. Or, no, I'm not that shallow. I'm really not. But she brings me in, and within 5 minutes, it's been open. She's a bigger woman, and I don't care. I've dated bigger women. But the bathrobe opens, and she's wearing a negligee underneath. That doesn't fit. Not because it was too tight. It was too big. One titty was here, one titty was under her arm, one lip was hanging out. You can have the visual, because I'll never forget it. Within 10 minutes of this date, she's on my shoulder crying about her life, and I'm just like, dear God, kill me now. Just kill, someone call me, tell me my house is on fire. Ergo why I'm still single. Within another 5 minutes, I noticed the smell of alcohol on her breath. And I'm like, wow, gotta be drunk to go on a date with me. Thank you And she goes, I want to have sex with you. And I'm like, you just met me. Holy shit, I'm getting old. I'm like, honey, you just met me. She goes, and I'm like, and you're drunk. She goes, I may be drunk, but I am drunk enough to know I want to have sex with you. I'm like, I'm glad this wasn't 25 years ago, because 25 years ago, my pants would have been down around like, let's do this. No, I was never that stupid. I'm lying. So finally, the date, I find my window to leave without being an asshole. Because I told some of my friends about this, they're like, I would have fucking left the second she opened the door. I'm like, no, I wanted to see where this car wreck was going in real time, you know? So I'm like, I gotta go. And she's like, you're gonna go home and block me. I'm like, I'm not gonna go home and block you. I went home, I texted her, I'm like, I got home safe. I lied and said I had fun. And then I texted her the next morning, good morning. She's like, good morning. She didn't say anything after that, blocked her. So, later that week, I get another date with a woman who's a few years older than me. I'm like, all right, I'll give that a shot. She was a nice one, but she's already 50 years old and thinking retirement, slowing down. I'm like, I'm gonna work till the day I die. You don't have the plans that I have. So, but she was nice, it was a nice date. I go home, and I wanted to stay out as late as possible, and the date was over before 11 o'clock. Anyone here in at 11 o'clock on Saturday? Fuck you, I don't believe that for a minute. So I get home, first red flag was the message I got. You're hot AF, which means hot as fuck. My first thought was, are you on drugs? She goes, do you want to hang out? And I'm like, now the reason why I jumped at this opportunity was a dear friend of mine had passed away, and I only found out about it about 5 hours before this date. So I'm like, I don't want to be home alone with my thoughts. We all know how that gets. And I said yes. So I'm like, you want to call me first? So we talked for 5 minutes. We decided to meet at a pool hall and a bar. We have a few drinks. She shows up. Looks, again, nothing like the, what the fuck is with you women lying? You call us liars and you show up not looking like your pictures. I look like a sack of shit, but at least I dress it up nicely. I present, what you see is what you get, ergo why I'm single. However, she shows up in a beat up sweatshirt, a workout tank top, leggings, and workout sneakers. Hair's a rat's nest, and no makeup. I'm not being shallow, but I'm like, I took effort in for my own psalm. I even changed my clothes from the last date, so I just didn't have other dates smell on me, you know. But she won me over. She had a good personality. She was a lot of fun. And I'll take a plain Jane over a plain Jane with an awesome personality over a supermodel with no personality, any day of the week. So the night's come to an end. We closed out the bar, and I'm like, I had a good time. She goes, I don't live that far away. I mean, I guess you could come over if you want to watch a movie. I'm like, I'm game because I don't want to go home and be alone with my thoughts. So we go to her house, and all of a sudden we're going down this long, dark road. And I'm thinking, this bitch is gonna kill me. 24 is only gonna suck for a few more minutes. Well, no, we walk through her house. We have to be really quiet. She has an elderly mother and a 16-year-old son. Fuck, I'm getting old. We walk into her room, and there is the largest pit bull puppy I have ever seen in my life. Thank God it was the nicest dog I've ever seen in my life, because I really didn't feel like getting mauled to death this week. So I'm like, Gordy, I'm coming to see you. So she walks into her walk-in closet. 1 minute later, comes out completely naked, with a sundress over her head as she's trying to pull it on. Now, I don't mind the au naturel look, but when it's longer than my beard, she comes out, I'm just like, ah! On the inside. On the outside, I kept my poker face. It was so fucking long. Anyone know what hentai is here? I just was, it's gonna grab me and pull. Yeah, I knew you. So, she pulls the dress on. Now this girl's 40. And I don't know what it is with women in North Carolina from 40 to 45. They don't know how to fucking dress. Because she pulls the sundress on, one titty's hanging out, one titty's over her shoulder. And this, what you see is like thinking, I didn't say this, I'm not that big of a dickhead. I went, you gonna fix that? And she just, boom, and everything fell into place. I'm like, all right, cool. So then she tells me, we're watching Impractical Jokers, I'm happy. I'm like, my mind is distracted. She goes, so I make content. I'm like, oh great, OnlyFans. She goes, no. There's another way to make content and sell it. She goes, Snapchat. And I'm like, so I think to myself, OnlyFans, Amazon Prime, Snapchat, Wish, or Tinder. I didn't say that. Again, not that big of a dick. So I'm like, she goes, I'd like to make some content with you. I'm like, so 5 minutes later after I stopped gut laughing, I'm like, honey, this doesn't get in front of the camera without clothes on. I'll photobomb day in and day out with clothes on, but you'll never see a picture with me. Not that I know of. But I steer the conversation away. She brings it up again. And she's like, well, you know, I can take pictures of you going inside me. I've known her for 4 hours. No talk of a condom. I'm like, honey, you just met me. I'm old. Fuck. I steer the conversation away because I never thought a woman would be coming on to me, and I'm thinking, could you shut the fuck up? I haven't seen this episode of Impractical Jokers. She brings it up a third and fourth time, and she goes, well, how about if your face is not in the picture? I'm like, I feel so much better about myself, thank you. And she goes, yeah, so you can go in and you can come on my tits and come on my face. All of a sudden, I'm the baby gravy factory. Oh wait, I missed a spot. I'm like, she brings it up a fourth time. I'm like, honey, I need to go. And she's like, no, don't leave. Now this bitch is crying on me. Did we not pay the power bill? Am I doing that badly? What the fuck did I do wrong now? So she... I think she's dead, to be honest with you. I didn't kill her. So I decide, I'm like, I need to leave. And she goes, no, don't leave. I'm like, no, listen. 2 things, honey. You're exceeding my boundaries. Up until then, I didn't know I had boundaries. And you're doing something that I thought was damn near impossible. I'm uncomfortable. I'm like, honey, the only reason why I jumped at this opportunity was because a friend of mine died 6 hours ago and I didn't want to be alone with my thoughts. So she walks me out, lets her dog out, and I'm like, I want to think I was having a good time. I'm just clearly not the guy for you. And she's sitting there like this, and her head's bobbing. I'm like, this is where I die. And all of a sudden she's like, I hear her mumble this. I'm upset, my friend died. I'm like, the fuck did you just say? So I get in my truck and I just peel out. And she had a gravel driveway, so I'm thinking, wow, I hit the gas pretty hard. I really hope she wasn't standing behind me because she would look like a chocolate chip cookie. But at least she was covered in something for her fans. So, as I was saying, 2024 has sucked so much. I am literally ready for 2026. I want to skip 2025 altogether. From deaths alone, my friend who passed away during the last date story, the worst place to find out, and the worst way to find out someone you consider family dying is 1, on Facebook, and 2, while you're on the toilet. Because I had 2 roommates at the time, and I opened up Facebook because if there's anyone here that claims that they don't look at Facebook while they're on the shitter, you're fucking lying. And I was like, no! And I'm just like, thank God my roommates are at home, because I'm like, you okay? Don't come in! Crying on the toilet. Never thought something like that would happen to me. So, who here's a fan of Friday the 13th? Alright, who here knows Kane Hodder? I have known Kane Hodder for almost 20 years, and about 12 years ago I was at a show that was in Virginia called Blood at the Beach. Anyone remember that one? So I was there, I was working with my crew, and I had a girlfriend at the time. I know, hard to believe. And we're talking to someone, and I go, yeah, so me and my girlfriend, Kane had walked by, picked her up with one arm, and just walked down the hallway with her. And I'm just like, Jason Voorhees just stole my girlfriend, and I really don't know what to do. Now, thinking about it, and in hindsight, because hindsight is always 20/20, I should have thought to myself, you can keep the bitch. I don't do jealousy. Now, how many people here, since we're at a horror convention, how many people here like the classics? Now, for the regular people, the classics I mean like Frankenstein, Dracula, Creatures from the Black Lagoon. Okay, now, Is Frankenstein the name of the monster or the guy who created him? Thank you. Now, in the second movie, was the bride created for the doctor or the monster? No, it was created for the monster. So, ergo, you guys not knowing that just ruined the whole joke. Because why do they call it the Bride of Frankenstein? Now, the thing that I've lost sleep over. The doctor created the monster, ergo making him his creator, making him his father. Ergo making him last name Frankenstein, first name Monster, or Adam if you've read the book. And Frankenstein is one of my favorite classics. Everyone's like, well, you make fangs. Why isn't John like, I love Dracula, but I can't relate to a man who lives in a castle. He's a count, he's rich, he's got 3 wives. I can't get one. And he's got servants. I can't relate to that. You wanna know what I can relate to? The monster's coming, get your pitchforks and axes. I touch a woman's hand, I'm used to this. But being a horror fan, a lot of people always ask me, who's your favorite? And before they even finish with the word favorite, I said, favorite kaiju. Favorite slasher is Jason Voorhees. And everyone's like, you answered that really quick, why? I'm like, because I can relate to him. He was the misfit, he was picked on, you can tell. But, if I drowned at camp at 11 years old, you can rest assured my mother would have killed every motherfucker in that camp. She wouldn't have stopped with the counselors, she would have found the owners, and she would have killed the campers. But, let's go further into part 2, that if I was endowed with Jason's powers, and I saw my mother get decapitated, rest assured, I'd kill every motherfucker that comes into those woods. Until someone took me out, which with my luck wouldn't go that very long. So, who here, if you had the opportunity, would try human flesh?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I love you, Chantal. God, I love you. If you weren't married. Ergo, another one. She gave me the best compliment last year. She comes to my booth to get fangs and goes, I told everyone in my booth I'm going to see my future ex-husband. So it doesn't matter, even when we got married, I'd still end up single.
Having 6 really good months, but then I'm taking the dog.
That's fine, I have a cat. Dogs do not respect personal space. Now that I think about it, neither does my cat. I'll be watching Golden Girls, he'll just get on my chest, I'm like, there's an asshole in front of my face. And it's not me looking in the mirror. But, what does a cannibal call a person in a wheelchair? Meals on Wheels. What does a cannibal call a baby? Snack. And don't anyone cancel me because I said someone in a wheelchair. People in wheelchairs are humans too, they deserve to have their balls busted just like everybody else. Woo! I will get canceled for this one. What does a cannibal call disabled people?
No.
Special snacks. Did you say dinner? I'm gonna rewrite that joke and I'm gonna pen. Now, what did the cannibal say to the person who asked him, why are you eating that amputee? Hey, I'm on a diet. So anyone ever have something traumatic happen to you in high school?
Yes.
Wow, you are so proud of that. Honey, how old are you? 20, that's why you remember high school. This one's embedded in my brain.
It's like 4 years of depersonalization, derealization. I was out during quarantine, so like 2 years at home.
All right, it's my show. Shut the fuck up. You know what? I'm gonna tell another joke. You talk to me after the show because I actually want to hear this story. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. I roofied a woman once. So she'd shut the fuck up. I'm sorry.
Run away!
Thank you, good night. I gotta leave. All right, so I was in art class, and you ever use those industrial large paper cutters? So someone said my name, and I turned around, I slipped on a piece of paper, came down right across my thumb with the paper cutter. Came down so hard, the skin in between the nail and the bone caused a cushion, shot it right back up. So I turned around, I'm holding my thumb, because I saw a spurt of blood, I immediately knew I fucked up. So I'm looking at my friend Mike and my teacher, whose name I can't remember even if you put a gun to my head. All I remember is her face because she was beautiful. And they're both looking at me, are you okay? And I'm sitting there like, I don't know. I look down. This is 10 seconds later. My hands are drenched in blood. I'm like, Oh my God. And I collapsed to my knees and I blacked out, but I still could hear everything. To this day, I don't remember how the fuck they got me to the nurse's office. Don't remember which way we took in the hallways. However, there was blood on my friend, my teacher, the floor, all the way up to the nurse's office. Not one drop of blood on that fucking paper cutter. So no one believed me. And of course, this is the one day, I'm 17 years old, my parents can't come pick me up. My dad was a principal, my mother was an office manager for Allstate. So I'm sitting there for 4 hours with an ice pack wrapped around my head, going into shock. Everything from here up, I couldn't feel. Thinking back on it now, it's kind of nice actually. So they get me to the hospital, and they're like, we're gonna put Novocaine in your finger. And I'm like, all right, doc, this is what I want from you. Do what you gotta do, don't tell me a goddamn thing. Most people wanna know what I'm doing. Do I look like most people? He looked at me very weird when I said that. So he goes to put the Novocaine, and I said, hold my arm. He goes, you're fine, don't pull away. I'm like, hold my arm, I'm gonna pull it. He puts it in, I pull away. He goes, don't pull away. I'm like, hold my fucking arm. He puts one hand on my arm, nurse grabs my arm, my mom grabs my arm, and an orderly grabs my arm. And the whole hospital heard me scream. And I can prove that because I lost my voice. And then went back to school after this. To show my dedication, because I was in this musical production of Guys and Dolls. Now I walked in, it's 8th period, and I walked in my creative writing class. I had lost my whole arm by the end of the day. And I'm like, who did that? My teacher, Mrs. Peters, goes, I told everyone that. I'm like, I love that woman. That woman was one of the greatest teachers I've ever met. But here's the thing, the most fucked up part of the story. When they get me to the nurse's office, you've ever been in so much pain you've surpassed screaming, crying, cursing. I laughed in my teacher's face and she went white. Because I was like, this hurts so much. I can't stand anymore. She's holding me. I don't know, this woman was a twig. So I don't know how that, I was a lot smaller, but still I was bigger than her. So, another joke that I might get canceled for. I have a buddy of mine who, anyone have that friend where you talk and you share jokes and memes and reels on social media, and you're like, my God, if this was ever brought to life, we'd have to change our names and move. That's me and my buddy Alex. He's my official comedy co-writer, because we'll be on the phone and I'm like, hold on. He goes, what? I'm like, I'm typing notes. Hold on. He goes, what? I'm like, this is funny shit. So he says to me one night, you really gotta put more 9/11 jokes in your act. And I said, dude, I am not putting any 9/11 jokes in my act. They don't land. He's laughing, I'm not laughing. And then it goes like, oh my God, I wrote a joke. I didn't even think about it. And to this day, he still thinks it's hilarious. So then I followed up with, I'm like, dude, if I start telling jokes like this, my audience is gonna crumble like the towers. Oh, fuck, he dropped his phone. He dropped his goddamn phone. And I was like, my God, I am going to hell and it's not even my fault. I'm kidding, it's my fault. I've got a seat reserved. It's called the throne. So, I'm gonna do a little audience participation here. No, we're not gonna talk to her because we'll be here all night. How to survive a horror movie. This one?
Yeah, right here.
What about her?
She wants to participate.
She's participating in the movie.
How old is this young lady? Good, all right, not old enough. She answered, shut the fuck up. I'm not going to jail tonight. So, I did this list of how to, at an open mic, I did a list of how to survive a horror movie. So, Friday the 13th, just don't go to camp on Friday the 13th. Very simple. Scream. Know your horror trivia. Or, because honestly, if they answered all the questions right, what is Ghostface going to do? He's going to kill her anyway. But, remember, Ghostface is human. Just be able to kick his ass. Nightmare on Elm Street, little bit more of a challenge. Got to know how to use your powers, but think like a Jedi. Control your fear. Because once you control your fear, Freddy can't win. Saw, don't waste your life. That's the theme of all his tricks. Anyone got any examples? Movie I can tell you how to survive? Taking antidepressants. All right, I'm gonna see.
That happened in Saw. When the Saw 3?
Zombie movies.
Shoot him in the head. All right, wait, no. Shoot him in the head, they'll stay dead. Original quote from Night of the Living Dead. However, if it's Return of the Living Dead, you're fucked.
Just put treadmills around the house.
Ready or not, be a survivalist. And don't shoot someone in front of an open window or their cop will shoot you.
Cabin in the woods.
You're fucked.
Willy's Wonderland.
Be Nicolas Cage. Just beat the shit out of the characters that come to life. I'll do one. Would you consider Jurassic Park a horror movie?
Yes.
Okay, first one, yes. Okay. Don't go to the goddamn park. If someone said we clone dinosaurs, say good for you. Fuck off. Anyone else? The heavy metal one or trick or treat with Sam? Sam, keep your pumpkin lit.
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
It's not a horror.
Just don't go to the place. Very simple. Don't go to the place or burn it to the fucking ground. How to survive Halloween. Stay out of Haddonfield on Halloween and don't be a babysitter.
It falls. Terrifier.
Terrifier is my closer. You're fucked. From what I can see, unless you're a supernatural being like the girl in the second one, you are fucked. I heard one more over here.
House of Wax.
It falls.
Make it really hot outside. Just bring a heater with you. What? Holy shit, I haven't seen that one.
Night of the Comet. It follows.
It follows? Find someone you hate. What was the one over here?
Night of the Comet.
Night of the Comet. Don't trust people and stay inside. All right, so I'm a vendor, and who else here are my fellow vendors? Okay. Who here has ever wanted to just wring a customer's neck? Okay, all right, good. So at least now I know people are going to know how I feel with this story. I was at Rhode Island Comic Con, and my booth manager got the flu. She did her best to power through on Friday, but Saturday she wakes up and she looks at me and she's like, I'm like, stay at the hotel. I can run my booth by myself. It sucks, but I can do it. So we go in, two girls, first time they've ever worked with me, and these three men come over to my booth. Now, this guy, in my head, I was never going to say this aloud because people's sexuality doesn't matter to me. I don't care. As long as you don't fuck children, I don't care who you have sex with. All right, also, if you fuck animals, there's something wrong. But I nicknamed the guy Gay Dust in my head because he looked like a gayer version of Gold Dust. From the neck up, short hair, airbrushed all white, glitter everywhere, and beautiful black accent eyeliner all over his face and his mouth. From the neck up. From the neck down, gray sweatshirt, blue jeans, white sneakers. Which apparently when I was 15 wearing white sneakers with my Iron Maiden shirt and a black pair of jeans, they go, you know that means you're over 40. I'm like, fuck you, I'm 15. So this guy comes and I've taught 35 minutes, 45 minutes, almost an hour with this guy, give him as many deals as he can to get as much bang for your buck. Meanwhile, his two friends are blocking the entrance to my booth, but I got the fish on the line, so I'm not gonna go reprimand his friends because I'm like, fuck you, and they leave. And the two girls, God bless them, they were trying to reach out to people. I called his friends the Twin Towers, really inappropriate after that one joke I just made. But his friend was Glampool. From the neck down, dressed as Deadpool. From the neck up, airbrushed like Deadpool's mask, glitter everywhere. The other friend, don't remember what he looks like, because that's how much this motherfucker I'm about to tell you about pissed me off. So finally, he sits down. I tell him I'm doing these 5 jobs. I have to do sales, do the impressions, pour the molds, make the fangs, and micromanage 2 people because it's their first show with me. And he sits down, and I hand him the laptop. I'm like, make sure you fill out all your information, put your phone number there. If I can't get them done today, I'll have them done first thing tomorrow morning. And I am not doing this for comedic effect, 100%, and I have witnesses. This is what he sounded like. He goes, I don't get them right now. I'm like, no, it's not. Here are your fangs. It's not that quick. I'm like, dude, I gotta take your impression, pour them all. I mean, there's a whole process. He goes, remember how I described it? He goes, but I'm this today. Now that's when something broke off. Something broke off, but I'm maintaining professionalism. So he goes, okay, I don't want to do it. So I'm like, in my head, I'm just silently going, go fuck yourself. He gets up and he leaves. And I have I have this maneuver where I can remain professional, but let you know how pissed off I am at you. So I clap my hands together and I'm like, okay, close the laptop goes there. I clean this, I put that there. I'm putting this here, I'm cleaning that, I'm closing this. I feel like 5 minutes have gone by and I feel like I'm mumbling this under my breath. No, I said it loud and clear. And I just want to waste my fucking time. I think he's gone by, he's gone. I think 5 seconds have gone by. 5 minutes, 5 seconds by, he is right in front of me. And I look up to this and he's just like, I didn't realize there was a wait. Now, the angel on my shoulder goes, I know what you gotta do, but I don't wanna watch. He looks away, he's done with me. The devil on my shoulder whispers in my ear going, he knows you're an asshole, own that shit. And then the moron in the back of my brain is going, there's gonna be a fight. So I take both fists, put them on the table, and go, you're number 7, what the fuck do you think? He goes, oh? I'm not kidding. It's like a bad sound after a blowjob. And he walks away. I'm like, motherfucker, you don't go diva on me in my booth, you're in my world, bitch. There's only so long I can be polite and professional. So he walks off, my friend comes over and goes, you're really rude to those 3 gay guys I sent over here. I'm like, what 3 gay guys? She goes, oh, please. I'm like, hey, I assume nothing. I got yelled at for assuming a guy was straight once, so I assume nothing anymore. So I explained to her what happened. She understood. 45 minutes later, I'm like, I've got to take a piss. We're on the opposite end of the convention center from where the bathroom is. So I'm walking through the crowd. Okay, cool. I make it to the men's room. And then it dawns on me, shit, they're men. They might be in there. So I do something I've never done before.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. I kick the bathroom door open and stomp in like this. Ah! Everyone in the urinal's just like, the fuck? I had 20 men looking at me with their dicks in their hand. I'm like, I feel so pretty. Then it dawns on me, shit, bathroom stall. I go right in, close the door, sit down, and I'm like, I'm not leaving until everyone in this bathroom is gone. So I just sit there, and turns out I didn't just have to pee, so I took a shit. You know, I mean, use your time wisely. So I wait about 5 to 10 minutes, and it gets really quiet in there. Then all of a sudden I hear the theme music from The Walking Dead in the stall next to me, and I do this. The whole men's room erupts with laughter, and I'm just like, okay, I can get out now. So I wandered back to my booth and went on with the rest of my day. I didn't see them again. I saw a glam pool, because this dude was like 7 feet tall. I didn't see gay dust. I guess I upset him so much he fucking left. So, I remember when I was 21 years old, I know, hard to believe, and a friend of mine calls me, different Alex, kid I went to high school with, the one friend who's always a jackass, joking, silly. Like, there were a couple people who were gay bashers in our high school. We went to a school dance as dates just to piss people off. You know, actually, come to think of it, I should call him and tell him we should break up, because we never ended it, we just stopped talking one day. I wonder if his number's still the same. But anyway, so I get a voicemail. Excuse me. I have a message on my answering machine. Remember those? Does anyone still have one? Wow.
We still have a landline.
Wow, okay, cool.
It doesn't.
Someone as old as me and someone young enough to be my daughter if I had kids that I knew about. So he's crying on the message, and I immediately called him back, and he told me our friend Megan had passed away. She was 17 years old. She had a lot of eating problems, and she had a potassium imbalance and had a stroke in the middle of the night while she was sleeping, and her heart couldn't take it, and she passed away. Don't worry, the joke is coming, and no, it's not about her death. That still fucks with me to this day. And, because it was the first time, you know, when you're young, you still feel immortal. You know, when you're 21, you still think, like, I'm gonna live forever. Everyone else will die, but am I boring you? Sorry, if you yawn at my show, I'm gonna fuck with you. My friend recording me can vouch for that. Every time she yawns around me, I do it. So, he told me, well, him and his friends are getting together, they're gonna go drink. And I wasn't a big drinker. I'm still not. But I don't feel right. Me and my friends had just bought tickets to go Shanghai Noon. And I was like, when you find out mortality's right in front of you, you don't know what to do. So, my parents are having, is there an emergency?
No, sir.
That's okay. Tell them I say hi. So, my parents are having drinks with my German neighbors. And the fact that they're German comes into play later in the story. So, my mother has this ability to put everything in perspective. So I told her what happened. She goes, listen, did you already buy the tickets? I'm like, yeah. She goes, is missing the movie gonna bring your friend back? I'm like, well, no. She goes, honey, go to the movies, enjoy yourself with your friends, mourn later. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense to me. So we go to the movies, we have a good time, we come back, my friends go home, I'm sitting in front of my computer, because back in the day when I was younger, I did a lot of writing, I was slightly poetic, wrong P word, pathetic, but still, I'm brooding, I'm going to put my emotions down on paper. By that I mean type into my computer, so I wrote it down, and I'm not kidding. I type out my notes and print them out because I wouldn't be able to read my chicken scratch. So I'm typing away, and it's 2:30 in the morning, so the windows are open because it's mid-spring, it's nice out. And all of a sudden I hear these two idiots outside, yelling, laughing, and screaming, falling over themselves. And I'm just like, I don't know who these two idiots are, but they're gonna wake my parents up, and I'm somehow gonna be in trouble for this, because at 21 I still couldn't afford to get my own place. And then I realized, I know these two voices. It was my mother and father. They decided to try and keep up drinking with my German neighbors. Now my mother's Scottish, she can hold her own. She can't hold her own with Germans. My dad's Italian, he drinks scotch. He cannot keep up with my German neighbors. So I go downstairs and they're fumbling over each other. I'm like, Mom? Dad? And they're like, hi! And I'm like, are you guys drunk? And my mom is always quick as a whip. She's like, well, you know, I'm like, are you guys drunk? She goes, well, you know, you told us that story about your friend and we got so upset we decided to drown our sorrows with alcohol. I'm like, Mom! And she's like, I'm only fucking with you. And I'm not kidding, that's what she said to me. And my father, who's fumbling, he wanted to go to bed. He came in and walked into the living room and is just doing this. And I'm trying to remain serious because I'm in shock. And I'm like, they're never living this down. I actually asked my mom permission to do this story in my show. I'm gonna post and she's like, you little bastard. Which is funny because I'm adopted. But anyway, yeah. Even my biological mother didn't want me. My parents adopted me, and I hear stories about my childhood, and I'm like, do you guys ever regret adopting me? And they're like, no, why? I'm like, you sure? Because you tell stories. And they're like, no, we love you. Then I hear him sharpening the axe behind me. But, so my mom's like, my dad goes, what time is it? I'm like, it's almost 3 o'clock. I'm just like, oh my God, we gotta go to bed. We gotta go to church in the morning. We gotta clean the house. We gotta make dinner for tomorrow night. So having people, I'm like, you're not doing shit in the morning. I go to bed, I wake up at like 10:30. Mom and Dad are having breakfast. They've gone to church. They've cleaned half the house. Now, when I grow up, I want to be like Mom and Dad. I'm Harsha Jack. Thank you very much for listening to my bullshit, guys.